video today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Melissa, and I really appreciate you taking the time to stop by and see what the channel's all about. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little fall DIY for you, and it's kind of tedious and time consuming, but it's super easy. So stick around and let's see what the DIY has to offer you, and also stay to the end of the video because I have an amazing, well, I think it's amazing, little dessert slash salad recipe for you. So don't go anywhere until I show you that because you really will not want to miss it. Let's go ahead and get into the DIY. So here are the material pieces that I picked for this garland. I chose 3 pieces of material, and then I chose the burlap ribbon because it was easier just to cut the burlap ribbon. You also need the little cutting board, which I guess you don't, but it does make it easier. And then the rotary cutter, which I actually cut myself first time I used it. So yeah, be careful. And then also some scissors, just in case you need them to make any additional cuts. So that is the materials that you'll need. So here you see I have my material laid out. I folded the material into where I could use 2 inch strips. I will use my rotary cutter to make 2-inch strips, but I folded the material so that when I do make the cut, I get about 4 strips in one cut. And here you will see I'm using the cutter, but it is pretty thick. So I have to press down pretty hard, and I go, I make the cut, but then I realize that it didn't cut all the way through. So that's where the scissors come in, and I use my scissors to finish making the cut to get the strips completely cut. So yeah, I have the strip of buffalo check, the strip of pumpkins, and the orange and black plaid. And then what I'll do is I'll use the burlap ribbon to make that cut for that strip. I went ahead and opened up each strip of the material, and I could get more strips because I had folded it. So with this mat that I used, it's about 8.5 inches to make each strip. So I cut down about 8.5 inches to get my strips of material. And I saw somewhere where they used only 6 inches, but I definitely don't think that is going to be long enough. So I went ahead and just did the 8.5 inches, and I feel like it was the perfect length of cloth for each little tie that I did. Here's my mantle that I'm going to put it on, and my mantle is about 8 feet, so I have to figure out how much twine I need for the 8 feet of mantle, and I measured it out, and I wanted to make sure I got enough so that it could kind of like curve down or whatever across the mantle. So here I have my 4 strips, but I decided I didn't want the 2 like plaid patterns next to each other, so I switch it out with the orange and black plaid and the burlap. So now I've got my 4 strips of ribbon, and now I tied a knot to the end of the twine, and that is what you will use to hang the garland on whatever it is you're going to use the garland for. Here you see I realized that I needed to cut these top 2 strips in half long ways. So I did that, and now I'm going to start tying the ribbon in, or tying the strips in knots. And I started all the way at the very end. That way it, kind of secures the end of the rope. And I just tied in knots, going in a pattern of, just alternating each ribbon. And that is as simple as that was. Now, I did, I don't know, I turned my camera the wrong way, so you'll have to excuse me. But I did realize that I did not have enough of the burlap strips. So what I did was I alternated. I did the orange pumpkin material, the buffalo check, the burlap, and then the orange and black plaid. I did that twice. And then I would do twice of the ribbon without the burlap. And so I just alternated it with the burlap, without the burlap, with the burlap, without the burlap, if that makes sense. And yeah, just continued tying each strip of material onto the twine to make the garland. And you can see here that it's it's coming together nicely. And you can either make it as close, each ribbon as close as you want, or as far apart as you want. But here I have it on my mantle. You can see how I have it hung. I just basically just put the end of the rope underneath that lantern and have it on the end, on the other end, and that is it. I would love it if you would become part of my YouTube family. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to click the bell button because it lets you know every time I upload a new video. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up because that really does help me out with YouTube. And now, if you have stayed till the end, as I promised, a little dessert slash salad. Now, I've never heard of this before, but I've mentioned it to a few people, and they act like I've been hiding under a rock. So you may have heard of it before. I never have, but it is called grape salad. Can you see it? Now, I mean, it doesn't look like much, but it is delicious. So here's how it's so easy. You use, it says it calls for 2 pounds of red grapes and 2 pounds of white grapes, but I mean, that's a lot unless you plan on eating a bunch of this, which I probably could. But anyway, 2 pounds of each of white grapes and red grapes. Then it calls for 8 ounces of cream cheese, and I let it get to room temperature. And then the recipe that I found calls for a cup of sour cream, but I've also seen that if you don't want to use sour cream, you can use a cup of Greek yogurt, which I will probably do next time because I feel like it might give it a little bit more of a creamy texture. But anyway, you put the cream cheese and the sour cream or Greek yogurt into a blender, well, a mixer, or you can mix it by hand, but honestly, mixing cream cheese by hand is so hard. But anyway, then you add 2 teaspoons of vanilla, you add a 1/3 cup of sugar, and yeah, that's it. You just blend it up or mix it up and whip it together. Then once you have blended the cream cheese and the sour cream, the vanilla and the sugar, you put it on top of the grapes, mix it together real good, and then when you go to serve it, you just sprinkle some brown sugar on top. And some people actually chop some pecans and sprinkle that on top as well. But I, I didn't do it because the brown sugar's enough. But anyway, yeah, and there you have grape salad. This is so good. Anyway, give me a thumbs up if you've ever tried it. And if you have tried it and you do something a little different, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, that's it. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.